right now. Speaking of platforms, TikTok has named the first recipients of its Creator Fund, which is an initiative to keep content creators on its platform as it faces intense pressure from various governments, organizations, corporations, and competition from rival companies who are also offering some incentives to get people to leave TikTok. So there's $1 billion in the Creator Fund, and so far they've announced 19 recipients, with people like David Dobrik, Matt Broussard, a cook named Matt, Dreadnought Workshop, Dr. Jess, and obviously some others. Now, they didn't announce how much each one was going to make, but they're getting a lot of competition in the form of Triller, which has seen huge downloads, and Facebook's Instagram, which just rolled out Reels, and that's just in time to compete with TikTok directly. So this is all happening as the ban order is looming, with a deadline of September 20th for U.S. businesses to stop working with TikTok per an executive order, and with the September 15th deadline, Microsoft is set to purchase TikTok from ByteDance, which is their parent owner. But now we also have word that Twitter has also been mentioned as a potential suitor. They would have to raise a lot of money, though. They really should have just kept Vine. But nonetheless, this Creator Fund just getting started. There's some rules to it. You have to have 10,000 followers, 10,000 views in the last month, but they are going to start rolling out some more. So these were handpicked to start off with, but definitely interesting to see where that's going to go. Read more about it at digitaltrends.com. Lucid Motors has announced that their upcoming Air all-electric sedan will have the world's longest range, beating the Tesla Model S long range by over 100 miles. So the Model S edition from Tesla has an electric range of 402 miles in optimal conditions. The Lucid Air will reportedly have a range of 517 miles on a single charge. That's a really impressive range as we see this race between electric vehicle manufacturers heat up. But the testing was done by FEV North America, which is an independent organization that applied the EPA's guidelines, which a lot of people follow, to come up with the 517-mile number. Now, Lucid Motors was supposed to have debuted the Air at the New York International Auto Show way back in April, but now it's going to be changing gears and going to a virtual debut sometime in September, much like other manufacturers. So other specs released are that it will have a 900-volt battery, and it'll be capable of going from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. But this is definitely going to be in the luxury market when it comes to cars. So it's expected to start at $100,000, so it's going to be pretty exclusive, and customer deliveries are expected sometime in the first part of 2021. Now, of note, Elon Musk has said that the next Tesla Roadster will clock in at about 620 miles per charge and expected to go into production next year. So however you like it, this is an exciting time for electric vehicles. So the more competition, the longer the range we're going to get, and hopefully, though, the prices start to get a little bit lower. That one's starting at $100,000, but you can read more about it at digitaltrends.com. Continue on. Google has released a number of new Android features today, and one of the most interesting ones is this. It's the Android Earthquake Alerts system, which is part of their plan to create a global network of seismometers using the accelerometers that already exist in smartphones. So the accelerometer is the thing your phone uses to detect whether you've moved or not. So every phone pretty much has one. You've probably been asked to calibrate it before. So using those is something that Google wants to do to create this network for this earthquake alert system. So an accelerometer is really sensitive. It could become one data point per phone in thousands or millions that can detect the movement associated with an earthquake. They said it's so sensitive that if it's sitting still, plugged in, it could even detect P or S waves. So those are specific types of earthquake waves. P waves are less destructive, S waves are more destructive. Regardless, the phone's so sensitive it can detect them. And there are 3 phases to this rollout. First, they're partnering with the U.S. Geological Survey and the California Office of Emergencies to potentially send earthquake alerts to Android phones based on existing data that seismometers are already collecting. The problem is there's not a lot of seismometers out there to be able to do this. So that's where we go to the second. The second part is they're going to monitor searches in the area of earthquakes to see if the data matches up with what they're gathering from these seismometers. Of note, you do have to opt in to do this, so they're not going to just take your data, but it is anonymized. You do have to opt in. So finally, what they would do is be able to send earthquake warnings out to users who are in areas where seismometers aren't constantly on the watch for earthquakes. So in theory, this could give someone a warning of anywhere from, say, 1 to 2 seconds, which doesn't seem like much, but it's enough to duck under something, to even 30 to 45 seconds. And naturally, the data will change as they go through it. But it's a really interesting use case of using smartphones and some untapped potentials. You can read more about that at digitaltrends.com. And another update coming from Google has to do with their app Lookout, which has been a huge help for people that are blind or vision impaired. And it's now adding more modes and being expanded to more Android devices. So the app in its current form uses artificial intelligence and your camera to scan an environment and tell someone what is happening around them. So Google even recommends putting a phone, like say on a lanyard or hanging it around your neck. So the app is open, the camera is on, and then it can let the user know about other people in the room, objects that are ahead or that they may encounter, or don't bump into this table. Things that could be very important if you can't see what's around you. So the updates that just put out now provides 2 more modes that can help out as well. The first is the food label mode, and what it'll do is be able to look at a food label and tell someone exactly what it is they're holding. Imagine putting away the groceries and knowing what it is you've got in front of you. Pretty helpful. The other mode is the scan document mode. So that's essentially rapidly scanning documents and letters. And you can take a quick picture and the app will automatically be able to read it out loud and help somebody sort through something that they can't see. So Look at it previously only been available on Pixel phones, but it's now expanding to any Android device running Android 6.0 or newer. And that has at least 2 gigs of RAM available. So those are the specifications, but it's a pretty cool update. I'm a fan of any tech that helps improve lives or gives someone back time they would otherwise spend on tasks they may not want to do, like reading food labels. It's really a cool update. So check it all out at digitaltrends.com.